Well, it's that time of year again, folks. It's time for a big event for Marvel Comics. This time around, Dan Slott, controversial comic book writer and all-around okay writer. I like a lot of his work. I really do. Well, here it is. The book that he says is like 20 years in the making, The Reckoning War. It's Fantastic Four, Reckoning War, Alpha, issue number 1. A lot of subtitles, a lot of stuff going on. Okay, this is, it's not great, but it's not bad. It's just so obvious. It's obvious, and I think that's fine, but this is literally this just Empire, isn't it? Like, people coming together to stop a thing? Like, I get it. So whatever. So let's run through this book a little bit so you guys understand what I'm talking about. So we're on the world of Badoon, and all these people decide to work together. The Badoon are like, hey, we're setting up some big armies together. If we use our weapons and we come together, we'll be able to do this one thing. Pretty much this is like the storm before the bigger storm comes. We see that the OG David Hasselhoff Nick Fury, not the David Hasselhoff, but you know what I mean. White Nick Fury, he's bald, he's got his eye patch, he's watching them with a telescope. If you don't know why this Nick Fury exists, well, there was a book called Original Sin, I think, where he killed the Watcher, I think. I can't remember, because who gives a shit? And now he's on the moon with the Watcher. So he goes back to Uatu, and he's like, bro, things are going as bad as we thought. So it looks like there's a bunch of war armies coming together to solve something. You know, there's the Badoon, the Marani, the Zerks, the Asaniafa or something. It ain't looking good, Haas. What are we going to do? He's like, well, we're going to do the one thing we have to do. We have to summon all the Watchers to come back and deal with this shit. Because we tried to deal with it before, and it looks like it's happening again. So we see that Uatu puts on this weird bubble. He's like, my brothers and sisters, come back. We need to do the thing we did originally. And you see across the universe, just all the other Watchers just ready to use their powers to come back to them. And you see like, okay, Uatu and Nick Fury are like, oh, we got this. Everything's going to go fine. We know exactly what we're going to do. And in the chaos, a Badoon ship shows up and just blows up the moon. It's blown up. The moon's blown up. Earth's moon's blow up. So what does that mean when that happens? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means we cut back to New York City, the highlight of everything in the world, apparently. And it's just all the superheroes saving people from asteroids. So we start with Ben Reilly. He shows up. He saves an old lady. The Fantastic Four show up with the Avengers and the X-Men. They all just do a bunch of stuff. And yeah, it's cool. It's everything we've seen before. You know, it's an event unlike anything we've seen. We see it every day. And that's the problem. Not just with this book. Not just with Reckoning War. It's with any book. Any book that's, especially at Marvel. I think Marvel's a big problem for this. Anytime with some cataclysmic cosmic events, it feels the same as everyone because you have to somehow intrinsically connect it to Earth, and it never feels special. So Shuri's like, Wakanda doesn't know what's going on, but we'll check it out. Sword's like, we got a lot of bad shit going on. What happens? Well, the Badoon attack. And it just becomes a little bit of a slap-up comedy for a bit where you see Ben Grimm's just trying to get his son to go back inside. His son tries to help him. He's like, son, go back inside, protect your mom, protect your sister. I'll take care of the mess down here. You see that Sue tricks one of the Badoon soldiers. She gets a hold of the technology, and we confirm that Valeria was right about something. The weapons that the Badoon are using are not of Badoon technology. They come from a signature on the moon. What does that mean? It means we're going to have to go to the moon. So in the midst of the fight, let's step back a little bit, because don't forget, guys, this is a Dan Slott book, so don't forget that Dan Slott actually wrote a She-Hulk comic book. It's going to probably be very prominent as of late because she's getting a television series. 2 characters that appeared in 1 issue of the book, or 2, I don't know. I haven't read that book in forever, and honestly, it was just okay. Well, do you remember, was it Agent Peace and Agent Love? They're with the Time Variance Authority. They come down and they're just watching the fight, and it's like, okay, the champions are here. I guess the new Warriors are here. Remember when there was going to be a new Warriors book, and then it never happened? I wonder if that matters. Maybe it doesn't. But She-Hulk's the only one that can see Agent Peace and Agent Love. Or Justice Peace and Justice Love, I should say. And basically, Justice Love's like, oh, right, you can see us because we took you to the thing and you saw this. And we see that Jack of Hearts is there, and he's like, Jennifer, what are you talking about? Who are you talking to? If you guys don't know, why is Jack of Hearts here suddenly? Well, in the current She-Hulk comic book, there's 1 issue out. The end of that book, Jack of Hearts shows up and he passes out on her doorstep. So that leads me to believe he's going to be okay. He's going to fight in this book and be a part of it somehow. Jack of Hearts. Remember that classic character, Jack of Hearts? Yeah, he's back. So, Justice, Peace, and Justice Love, they do absolutely nothing. Then they leave. It's just to remind you, like, oh, the TVA are involved. Oh, Dan Slott set this up. You did not see me doing the air quotes, but he set this up a while ago. Honestly, I don't think he did. I think he had an idea later, and now he's doing something with it. So let's ignore that completely. We're going to go to Overspace, which is like the dominion of the Earth. We see Nor and Rad, the Silver Surfers, out there talking to, what is it, the Griever, the end of all things. And they're just like, a lot of weird cosmic shit's going on. So we see that Eternity is just kind of being, like, hurt by something, and that his girlfriend doesn't really know what's happening to him. The Never Queen's like, my boyfriend's being hurt. We have to stop him. What's happening to Eternity? I don't get it. What's going on? And Surfer's like, I guess I'm the only one that can stop this, so I'm going to go back into Eternity and find everybody everywhere and see what we can save. Okay. Again, it's a Dan Slott book. Let's have a scene in Latveria where Victorious and Doom are having some fights. Then we see Doom just leave because he has an idea for something. He's going to go figure it out. And just, yeah, he's going to go save the fabric of reality. So, Silver Surfer, Doctor Doom, the Fantastic Four, all these classic FF characters, they're about to do something special. And Jack of Hearts for some reason, whatever. Let's cut back to space. You know, where the moon should be. We're looking at, like, its destroyed remnants. And everyone's like, what's shooting at us? So Johnny goes to investigate. He finds the old Nick Fury, kind of takes him back to the ship. And it's like, what are you doing here? I do not understand what's going on. So Nick Fury's like, yeah, I survived. I was working with Uatu. He's dead, maybe. Who knows? He could be alive. He could be dead. All we know is he's not here at this moment. So, I don't know what to do. I'm kind of freaking out. We saw a bunch of shit. I was working for him and did this thing. And Reed takes the bubble. Somehow Nick Fury put the bubble on his head. He saw some weird shit. And now he's looking at, okay, what is the reckoning? Everyone's been talking about this, like, reckoning. The reckoning's coming, this big reckoning thing. And here's the story to the reckoning. It sucks. Honestly, I don't like it. I think it's just so basic. So, before all of time and before the modern existence of whatever the fuck, the Watchers were a race called the Luminous, and they saw this plan. They're like, hey, we can help you. We can give you these things. We're going to help, and you're going to thrive and all this great stuff. And then came this planet called Prosilicus, I think is that how you'd say it. Basically, they were going to destroy themselves, so the Watchers were like, hey, I know, let's help them and make sure that doesn't happen. So they tried to use their power, but their power backfired, and it caused the planet to destroy itself except for maybe one person. And then this, like, weird energy mist became this, like, the last of, like, the planet, and they're like, oh shit, us trying to help destroy a civilization, I guess we're not going to help people anymore. So they made a sacred vow and their oath, like, we'll never help, we'll only watch. Bada bing, bada boom. That's it. This was being hyped up for so long. This was kind of boring. And maybe this is something special. Maybe, you know, the Prosilicus or somebody important. But I'm like, this is it? The Watchers just accidentally killed a bunch of people? Don't they do that every other week? Like, whatever, I guess. It didn't impress me. And that kind of sucks, I guess. So there's one survivor of the Prosilicus race, and he's the Reckoning. He's coming. The Reckoning War, where everybody reckoned themselves to death, and you get it. So everyone's watching Reed wear this bubble. They're like, Reed, what are you doing? What's going on? And when he emerges from the bubble, he's like a super genius even more so. He's got, like, the power cosmic flowing through his brain. You see the Kirby crackle around his eyes. Okay, he knows everything. He's a Watcher now. Maybe Reed's going to be a Watcher now. Who knows? So we cut back to the Barrens, which is just like the dead lands beyond the Great Barrier, and we see the narration coming from I am the wrath of the reckoning, and I bring you a great gift of death. It's just the last survivor of the Prosilicus, and, you know, he's like, look at my planet. It's like an evil symbiote planet coming to destroy you. Oh, wait, that's King in Black. No, it's just like some guy in a red planet with a weird, stupid helmet. Yay. Oh, man. Wasn't satisfied. This wasn't special. And I know Dan Slott can write some fun stuff, but this just felt like, let's just throw a new big Marvel event into swing. You know, what if the moon blew up? You know, what if we use the Watcher because What If is a popular television show. So we could do something with the Watcher. She-Hulk's coming to television. We could do something with her. We'll eventually get to the Fantastic Four in the MCU. So let's do something with them so they're prominent again. And that's it. There's really nothing special about this. There's like 3 different artists on this book, and it's a little bit longer than a regular book, but I'm like, okay, that's all you're doing. Okay. Not that special, not that cool. So the stuff that does excite me, kind of, is what's happening to Eternity. I think that could be interesting, and seeing what Norrin's going to do could be fun. I don't really give a shit about the history of the Watchers and this stupid planet that they let die, and when they interfered, it killed itself, and now they can come back and stop this stupid fucker from doing something. This doesn't matter to me, and this did not get me excited for Reckoning War. I'm going to cover all of Reckoning War. That's something I said to myself, like, we're going to do Reckoning War, we're going to talk about it. So far, with one issue, this being the premiere issue where we blew up the moon, I'm not impressed, and I don't really enjoy what we're seeing. The artwork is great, writing's fine, but the story itself, I've seen it a million times, and so have you. So Fantastic Four, The Reckoning War, Alpha number 1. I'm going to give a 5 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.